आपकी सर्विस को
ठीक है। वो अपने हाइट में participant has
Yes, Mr. Brown, sorry for the inconvenience. We'll start again. Yes. Yes.
Good morning, all the esteemed faculty members, all the dignitaries present here, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Prakash, and today I have a privilege to present my PhD defense on the topic impact of knowledge management on performance of construction industry with specific reference to construction organizations in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh. Next slide, please.
आप इनको दे दीजिए ना.
So before we go ahead with my thesis presentation, I would like to give a brief of my work profile. Presently, I'm working as a scientist F in Defense Research and Development Organization, DRDO, Ministry of Defense. And my designation presently as Associate Director Works. I'm posted in DRDO headquarters, New Delhi now. The works is because I'm working in a directorate which is called Directorate of Civil Works and Estates, which is responsible for planning, designing, creation, and maintenance of various defense infrastructure time-bound projects of strategic and national importance, and with optimum quality standards. The core competencies of mine are construction project management, contract management, budget formulation and management, and policy formulation. I have experience of over 21 years because I joined DRDO in the year 2004. After completion of my BTech in civil engineering from NIT Jamshedpur. After that, I did my MTech from IIT Roorkee, and after joining DRDO, also I kept studying and enhancing my knowledge base. So I did my postgraduate program in project management from NICMAR Pune, then LLB from CCS University. Also, few of because of my hobbies, I have done few of the other courses also. I've been awarded for significant contribution in DRDO works by Secretary DRND and Chairman DRDO, various commendation certificate, and also by various DRDO lab directors. Also, I'm a published author. Very recently, a book of mine has been published, which is a self-help book, which is titled "You Don't Deserve to Be Stressed." Also, I've been awarded by various other authorities. As far as my PhD journey is concerned, I was enrolled in PhD in the year 2016. After completion of my coursework, my PhD topic got registered in the year 2017. Then I completed my pilot study in the year 2018. Data analysis after collection of data was completed in the year 2023. The same year, I was able to submit my draft thesis, and after incorporation of all the suggestions by various dignitaries and experts, I completed the final thesis submission in the year 2025. So this is going to be my flow of presentation today. I'm going to talk about the research overview, motivation, relevance of topic, and so on, which are also part of my thesis. And I'll be completing my presentation with major implication of research, limitation of study, and scope of future research. So why this topic? Because one of the major questions which was always which used to linger in my mind when I joined DRDO, because when I joined DRDO, it was in the department which was the construction department, and where I was asked to build a record record building for the Department of Civil Works. Then I thought that even if we build, because it is in government practice that we keep all the records in. I mean, at that time in 2004, we used to keep all the records in hard copy form. So obviously, the building is required. But what happens if we maintain all the records? Are we able to utilize them? Was always my question. So that when I completed my MTech, I got the chance to actually see that, yes, this topic could be relevant to me when I was introduced to this topic by my first research supervisor, Professor O.R.S. Rao sir. He introduced me to the topic knowledge management, and at that time, actually, I had a laugh inside me. I thought that should knowledge also be managed? But then when I started delving myself into depth, I found that, yes, this topic is so relevant in today's scenario and also to my organization that now after acquiring all the data, if this information is not being utilized for further projects in, whatever learnings have been made, if it is not reused and utilized for further project, this all goes waste. So this topic comes from this thought. I started reading various literatures, and this all we'll talk about during literature survey also. So the data is in raw form. When we organize the data, it becomes information. This complete pyramid was given by Eliot in the year 1834. The information, when it is synthesized, becomes knowledge, and when it is applied with conscience, it becomes wisdom. This knowledge is can be managed, and can be managed with a knowledge management cycle. In short, we'll use the term KM also. So knowledge management cycle is, once we create the knowledge, it has to be curated and made in such a form that it can actually be transferred and utilized. So it has to be organized, then it has to be shared within the organization, and inter-organization transfer has also to be done. And then after, it has to be reused. And once it is reused, means that the information which was acquired, which is reused in a certain project, it again becomes a new knowledge. So again, a new knowledge is created, and this cycle keeps going on. So knowledge definitely is a strategic asset. The knowledge are of two types: explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is the one which is there as a repository within an individual. It is an experiential knowledge, and the explicit knowledge which is in the codified form or the manual or in the files, and this knowledge is known as the organization's knowledge. As we already discussed, the KM process is knowledge management process, which is identifying, gathering, storing, then sharing and reusing this complete information, the knowledge thing, to optimize performance and prevent repeated mistakes. I have a privilege to interact with various construction industry in DRDO, because today we have in DRDO almost 527 construction organizations registered with us. So where I used to have regular interaction with them. When I started doing my study, it becomes more relevant to discuss with them about the knowledge management. And I found that everybody acknowledged that this knowledge, whatever they are obtaining from various sites, the kind of the barriers that they pass through, they acquire knowledge. But once the project is completed, after that, the knowledge remains within an individual, and if that individual goes away from that project or from the organization, that knowledge is lost for the organization. That individual carries that knowledge, but the knowledge is lost for the organization. So construction industry, they definitely needs knowledge management, because knowledge is fragmented in construction organization. It is either accumulated at construction site or at the client base or subcontractor, contractor, consultant, architect, or the facilities. And there are operational challenges for knowledge management implementation. So basic operational challenges are, inefficient workflows, talent acquisition, digital transformation and technological integration, regulatory compliance, safety and sustainability, cost management, profitability, or managing complexity and scale. Because there are operational challenges, so we need to have operational focus. Knowledge management goes beyond just making an IT structure within the organization. It is actually if the lesson is learned, it has to be disseminated to every other individual who is in similar project within the organization. So it has a strategic value. The knowledge management culture also imbibes innovation culture within the organization, and to stay competitive globally, firms must prioritize human element and remove barriers to turn individual insights into organizational knowledge. Also, this knowledge management gives competitive predominance for harnessing project insights and allows firms to enhance innovation, and in turn gives monetary benefits also. But we'll see in further studies. My study, while I did triangulation, I found that this whole knowledge thing is, although is required within the organization, but people see it, the organization employees see it as it is only adding intangible value to the organization. The relevance of the topic are because there is a lack of existing research on knowledge management within the construction sector, makes this study highly relevant for understanding how KM impacts industrial growth of the organization. In the national context, because there are rapid expansion of urban sector and major government initiatives by Make in India and Vision 2047, where government has given mandate to every department, even the DRDO. When last time RM, almost a month back, RM came to our DRDO headquarters, he said that by 2047, whatever expenditure that you are doing, they actually give you target about the, with the expenditure value. They say that if you are able to spend government money, then you are actually doing the work. So they said that you have to improve enhance your capital expenditure by 5 times by 2047. That is a very big target that has been given to us. So yes, it is very relevant in the national context to identify appropriate KM models to improve growth performance. And because this study, I found that this study has never been done in India, but because India is a very vast country, and I was posted there in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Visakhapatnam at that time. So I chose these two states as my population for doing my study. The scope of the study is to analyze growth, knowledge, and implementation level of KM strategy in construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states in India. The aim is to examine how this approach is being utilized in construction organizations in these two states. Survey was conducted on 38 construction firms in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana states, resulting in 120 valid samples to analyze current status of KM systems in construction organizations in these states, as far as their operational capability, operational growth is concerned, or the growth performance is concerned, and the problem solving capability is concerned. Also, the data was collected through in-person interviews using a specifically designed structured questionnaire. The questionnaire was designed to identify key characteristics for understanding and formulating the hypothesis. As far as my literature review is concerned, I have reviewed almost 282 literature, which is a sizable amount because my this complete study lingered on for a very long time. So I kept studying, and still, I'm referring to a few of these very important journal articles and conference papers. But as we can see in the thesis dissertation part, very few of the thesis dissertations are there as far as this particular topic is concerned. And when we see the came in construction industry, only two theses I could find. However, these two theses are not from within India. They are all from abroad. So, and apart from that, the topics which I covered during my literature review is knowledge management, foundation and models, knowledge management in construction industry, barriers and challenges in implementation of knowledge management, tools, systems and technology. How can we implement this knowledge management structure within the organization? How this organizational performance is related to knowledge management within the organization? How knowledge management is relevant to project management? Then knowledge management is this also related to innovation and competitive advantage. Also, knowledge management in small and medium enterprises, companies, and developing countries, and the research methodology, obviously, I've gone through. These are the findings from the literature. The knowledge management in construction is systematic acquisition, analysis, storage, and sharing, as we already defined the knowledge management the cycle. It is a sequential processes for performance of the organization. If this knowledge is captured properly and is disseminated to all the relevant stakeholders. Knowledge is a strategic resource, and its historical presence has always been in the manuals and minutes of meeting of the forums or discussions in this form only. Now with the advent of IT industry and now AI, this the whole the structure, knowledge management structure is now being transformed into BIM models and other theoretical models, so that it can be implemented in the construction organization as well. But still in India, it is yet to be implemented to that level. The types of knowledge I've studied, the explicit and tacit knowledge we talked about. The tacit dimensions are cognitive and technical, and there is a strategic value of tacit knowledge which we have to capture because it is imbibed into an individual. And this knowledge has to be transferred into the repository of the organization to make it an organizational knowledge, that is the explicit knowledge. So integration of tacit and explicit knowledge is very much necessary. The knowledge management role in construction is a source of competitive advantage. It drives learning and innovation, and it also gives the success of this knowledge management implementation depends on participation and communication from among the stakeholders. The challenges in implementation is because this knowledge is fragmented and it is based in project-based environment. So this has to be overcome. There are barriers of time, culture, and lack of procedures. Knowledge hoarding and siloed cultures. This is my personal experience also. Even in our government organization, what happens is when some individual is posted at some place and it is of very of very strategic importance also, then they in the name of its strategic work, they are not disseminating information to any other individual. However, the technical part of it, which is a tacit knowledge, can be transferred to other individuals because it remains within the organization. So this knowledge hoarding is a big problem, and because we, every individual in government sector, which I can vouch for, and also in the corporate sector also, we work in silos. We are working in our own department. If somebody is posted in, say, planning division, he remains in planning division for so long so that he becomes a part of planning division only. Somebody who is posted at, say, site, he he's working at one site, transferred to another site, and he remains at site for very long. So it becomes a siloed culture, and the interaction between these two verticals are very rare or are at only higher level. Which they are not interacting with each other directly, but are interacting through their higher ups. So tacit knowledge sharing is difficult. So that is why where the knowledge management structure is required. The importance of security of this knowledge is also very important, because once it is an organizational knowledge, then it has to be secured within the organization also. A few of the data may be sensitive, or the company may not be wanting somebody to moonlight during his tenure in the organization. So the timely and only timely dissemination should be there for this knowledge. The impacts and benefits, as far as benefits are concerned, can improve performance, communication, training within the organization. Also, the benefits are the productivity improves, the innovation is brought within the organization, and the decision making becomes faster, because we already have a knowledge base. So people can refer to the earlier knowledge base, and then they can make decision faster as far as the technical part is concerned. There are operational gains also, which is the risk mitigation and efficiency. In fact, one of the thesis which I found on Shodh Ganga regarding this knowledge management is based on the risk mitigation in the construction organization. Very recently, it has been completed, I think in the year 2024. Then I did the knowledge management implementation and its impact for the growth performance in the Indian context. So I found this one study was done by Professor Srinivas Rao. In fact, he was my research co-supervisor in the year 2022. So he has written a paper on KEM practices linked to operational performance. In fact, he has used some of the data which I had acquired and shared with him. So it is there. And then the semantic web and BIM for KEM is there, which was done by NICMAR in 2022.
Nippon India Liquid Fund.
Yeah.
Also, I found that structured KEM improves project outcomes, which was studied by England Mahesh in the year 2020. Now, we know that KEM knowledge management structure improves growth performance, but how to implement this knowledge management unless we know what are the critical success factors which are required in the knowledge management structure within the organization. So I studied the success factors with respect to international evidences. I found that KEM drives quality, cost, market outcomes. The critical success factors are leadership, culture, IT, HR integration, which are critical. And few of the international scenario I found was from UAE, Malaysia, and Sri Lanka. There are limitations and challenges also, which are there for KEM implementation. KEM's impact can be modest or context dependent. Means that whatever context we are, the knowledge is being transferred within the organization, it is relevant only particularly to that topic. And therefore, the knowledge structure has to be framed in such a manner that it touches all the verticals and is useful for the complete organization. So it should not become context dependent only. And the knowledge management success requires motivation, planning, and strategic alignment, which is also a few of the critical success factors. So the research gap, which I found that there are very limited regional research in India. So because the Indian construction sector are very, are booming in southern part of states where there are many construction agencies, which I found there while working in Visakhapatnam. So I chose Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. There are no studies which are particularly for Andhra Pradesh and Telangana for understanding the KEM's role in efficiency and problem solving. There are implementation challenges of KEM framework, especially in small and medium enterprises. Obviously, the existing research is skewed towards global perspective only. The Indian context is, as I already discussed, is very scarce. There is a measurement bias also. Evaluating KEM's impact is very difficult. So therefore, the critical success factors are important parameters to measure KEM implementation in construction companies. That is why I chose to discuss the critical success factors also and have listed what are the critical success factors which have been defined by various researchers. So the leadership and management commitment, the organization culture, technology and IT infrastructure, human resource development, process integration, which includes the IT structure within the organization and the knowledge management structure, and measurement and evaluation for using KPIs to assess KEM effectiveness, and the stakeholders engagement. This is my theoretical framework. I, based on my literature review, I formulated my research objectives, and based on that, the research questions were arrived. So the research objectives are to analyze the impact of knowledge management on solving problems faced in construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. And accordingly, I have tried to find out what is the impact of the knowledge management on solving problems faced in projects in the construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Based on that hypothesis, I have made there is no impact of KEM implementation on these solving problems in these two states in construction organization. The research objective 2 is to analyze the impact of KEM on operational efficiency in construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. And accordingly, the research question has been made, and this is backed by various theories which are there in the literature. And the hypothesis is formulated: there is no impact of KEM implementation in the operational efficiency in construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. The third objective is to analyze the impact of KEM on the growth performance of construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. And the hypothesis is there is no impact of KEM implementation on the growth performance of construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Finally, to implement this knowledge management structure in the organization, the critical success factors was also studied. So the research objective was made to analyze the correlation between critical success factors and KEM implementation in construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. And all the critical success factors have been correlated, namely top management support and KEM implementation, organization culture and KEM implementation, training, education and KEM implementation, IT infrastructure, then knowledge structure and performance measurement and KEM implementation in construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. This is the conceptual model which was derived from the framework and the theoretical study that I had done. So KEM implementation is directly related to solving problems, operational efficiency and growth performance that has to be studied regarding the performance of construction industry in AP and Telangana state. And there is whether there is a correlation between KEM framework of critical success factors regarding top management support, organization culture, training and education, IT infrastructure, KEM structure, performance measurement with respect to the KEM implementation in the construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. This is the research methodology which I have followed. I have done both qualitative and quantitative. I have used both the method. The target population was all the construction companies located in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. sampling technique was convenience sampling and purposive sampling. Convenience sampling was used during pilot study, and purposive sampling was used during main survey. The size of population was all private construction companies. In fact, there is a story behind it also. When I started, studying this, I listed out all the construction companies, the private, which are, the strata is small, medium, and large scale, and also the government organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. But when I did my preliminary survey, before I did pilot study, I found that no government organization has actually been implementing this knowledge management structure in their organization. They are only having the collecting data. They are only having the record rooms available with them. That also is not organized in such a manner that it can be reused. The information, that knowledge that has been stored there can be reused. So while doing my main survey from the population, I had to remove this construction organization, the government construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. So, and also I found that none of these small scale industries are having their knowledge management structure in their organization, because this complete construction sector is an unstructured organization. Although few of the construction companies are having their turnover in crores, still they are not organized. They are hiring people for the construction purposes in a particular project. The local people they hire, even the technical people they hire from the locals. And once the project is completed, those all people are being let go away. So there is no knowledge structure in their organization. So I remained with the medium and large private construction companies, both in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. So this I used as a population, and based on the Cochrane's formula, I did my sampling, and in the sample, the companies in Andhra Pradesh, medium size 8 companies were chosen, and large 5 companies were chosen. The Telangana state, medium size 17 companies were chosen, and large 8 companies were chosen for this study. The data was collected through questionnaire by face-to-face interviews and Google form. The phone calls were only used for getting clarification if there was some non-clarity about their filled up questionnaire. The questionnaire was in the main survey, the 50 questions linked with the constructs. Scale of measurement was 5-point Likert scale, and the analysis has been done in IBM SPSS version 29 and 30. During the pilot survey, these 4 construction firms were chosen, which were working, which were from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. 2 were from Andhra Pradesh, 2 were from Telangana, and working in DRDO site only. So it was very easy for me to go and interact with them. So I prepared a questionnaire. There were initially 60 items in the questionnaire, and in a 5-point Likert scale. Name of the scales as per the hypothesis which has been formulated for solving problems, operational efficiency, growth performance, and the critical success factors which was to be correlated with the KEM implementation. After doing the validation of this questionnaire, I found that 10 questions were to be eliminated because they were having Cronbach alpha score less than 0.7. Actually, few of the questions which were eliminated, respondents found difficulty in answering those questions. So there was either non-clarity about the questions, or those were not very relevant to the other questions, to the scale. So those questions were removed from the questionnaire, and finally, in the main survey, 50 questions were used. In the quantitative survey, the test of hypothesis 1 was done. The hypothesis, the null hypothesis was there is no impact of KM implementation on solving problems faced in the projects of construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. The significance value came nearly to 0. So because it is less than 0.05, so null hypothesis is rejected, and it was found that knowledge management implementation has a significant impact on solving problems faced in construction projects in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. In the test of hypothesis 2, the null hypothesis was there is no impact of KM implementation on operational efficiency in construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Again, the significance value came nearly to 0. So the null hypothesis was rejected and alternate hypothesis was accepted. The result demonstrated that implementation of knowledge management makes a significant positive impact on operational efficiency of construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. In hypothesis 3, the null hypothesis is there is no impact of KM implementation on the growth performance of construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Again, the significance value came nearly to 0. So findings demonstrate that knowledge management implementation has a positive and large effect on growth performance of construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. For the critical success factors, because correlation was done and also the regression was done. So with the Pearson correlation method, it was found that the negative correlation is established and also significance value came more than 0.05. So null hypothesis is accepted, and for the available data, it was found that there is no correlation between top management support and KM implementation in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Again, in hypothesis 4b, the null hypothesis was there is no correlation between organization culture and KM implementation. Pearson correlation came as minus negative, so there is a strong negative correlation. Significance value came 0.102, which is more than 0.05. So it was established that there is no significant correlation between organization culture and KM implementation in the current data set in construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. In hypothesis 4c, there is the null hypothesis is there is no correlation between training, education, and KM implementation. With the Pearson correlation 0.024, the very weak positive correlationship was found, and because significance value was very high, so the data failed to reject null hypothesis. It was found that there is no statistically significant correlation between training, education, and KM implementation in the present data set. Again, for hypothesis 4D, for correlation between IT infrastructure and KM implementation, the null hypothesis was there is no correlation between IT infrastructure and KM implementation in the construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. The Pearson correlation has come very high, so there is very significant correlation. Also, the significance value has come less than 0.05. Null hypothesis is rejected, and we found that there is a significant correlation between IT infrastructure and KM implementation in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. For the test of hypothesis 4E, the null hypothesis was there is no correlation between knowledge structure and KM implementation. The Pearson correlation came as 0.773, which is a significant value for establishing a correlation between these two variables. Also, the regression came as less than 0.05. The significance value came as less than 0.05, so null hypothesis was rejected, and it was found that there is a significant correlation between knowledge and structure and KM implementation in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Lastly, the performance measurement and KM implementation. The null hypothesis was there is no correlation between performance measurement and KM implementation. The Pearson correlation showed that there is negative correlation. So, and the significance value came higher than 0.05. So we failed to reject null hypothesis. it was established that there is no statistically significant correlation between performance measurement and KM implementation in the present study. This is the summary of the quantitative data result. The quantitative data result has already been summarized. The KM implementation positively impacts problem solving, operational efficiency, and growth performance in construction organization in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. Among correlation factors, IT infrastructure and knowledge structure show significant correlations as far as KM implementation is concerned. But the top management support, organization culture, training, education, and performance measurement do not show statistically significant correlations in this data set. The qualitative data, the qualitative analysis was done with focus group discussions. These are the results. There is high risk and innovativeness. That is, the KM implementation involves significant risk and innovation, reflecting the challenges organizations face in adopting these practices. There is definitely dependence on leadership, top management support as far as KM implementation is concerned. For knowledge management structure to be implemented in the construction organization, the role of leadership is very significant. Small sector construction agencies and government organizations show reluctance or lack of KM implementation. For the KM implementation, it is very important that these sectors also have to come forward. But as far as the present scenario is concerned, there is not very significant inclination of these sectors to implement this KM structure in the organization. This indicates varying level of adoption across different sectors in government sector, private sector, as well as based on their turnover or the size of the organization. Also, KM is seen as instrumental in securing more business, aligning with goal of improving organization performance as far as qualitative data results is concerned. So I did triangulation analysis of the theoretical framework that I made, the quantitative the study that I did, and the qualitative data the study that I did. Triangulation analysis shows that leadership is a critical enabler with respect to growth, performance, operational efficiency, and problem solving. As far as KM implementation is concerned, KM implementation is actually not a tech-oriented issue, but involves innovation, trust, and organization support. Training is high impact, but underutilized factor. There is a significant gap in knowledge exploitation with respect to performance measurement. Because in individual, if any knowledge is stored, it has to be exploited further to make it organization knowledge, which is right now is a very significant gap as far as the KM implementation is concerned. The stakeholders interaction exists, but it is not fully structured. So the organization is not either ready or has made any structure within their organization to capture this all knowledge and reuse it when and where it is required. Also, there is cultural behavior gap with respect to organization culture as far as the knowledge management implementation is concerned. So, in the triangulation analysis, finally the integrated view came out as effectiveness of knowledge management in construction organization is limited not by the lack of awareness, because people are aware and people acknowledge that this is required. This particular knowledge management thing is required in this organization, but there is a deficiency in implementation, integration, and cultural alignment, and obviously the support from their organization, the top management. So integrated insight says out of all these quantitative, qualitative, and theoretical framework studies, that knowledge management is conceptually strong and statistically significant, but practically under-implemented. So the major recommendations of this study are to address these issues. Organizations must strengthen knowledge conversion processes from tacit to explicit knowledge, foster a culture of trust and collaboration within the organization, between among the employees as well as among the organizations, enhance leadership involvement because without their support, this knowledge management implementation is not possible. Improve training and system usability. Training is required because if knowledge management structure is framed within the organization and if it is not used, it becomes useless. It cannot be utilized to its fullest. And to integrate knowledge management in daily workflows, because again, if there is a tacit knowledge and knowledge is acquired every day, so there has to be a discipline within the organization to capture this knowledge into the knowledge management structure in very frequently, if not possible daily. So this integrated knowledge management has to be done in daily workflows in the organization. So comparison of findings with existing research is impact of problem solving, as we found that KM implementation has positive and significant impact. This is consistent with prior studies. As far as operational efficiency and growth performance is concerned, again, these have a significant positive impact as far as KM implementation is concerned. This is also backed by the existing knowledge. Munch at 2023 found that KM enhances operational efficiency and firm competitiveness, supporting the present studies results. For the critical success factors, top management support was found that there is no statistically significant correlation was found between top management support and KM implementation. However, in the qualitative study, it was found that there is a correlation between top management support. The leadership role is there. So the qualitative study is is having consonance with the existing knowledge. However, with the quantitative survey, this contrast with Abdul Haq and Anwar 2012, who highlighted that top management support strongly influences knowledge application and organization performance. As far as the organization culture is concerned, the findings in the present study is no significant, statistically significant correlation was observed between organization culture and KM implementation. This differs from the existing knowledge, which found that organization culture positively influences the knowledge sharing. Regarding IT infrastructure, statistically significant positive correlations exist between IT infrastructure and KM implementation. It was found. And Munch et al. 2023, similarly, they back this the result. Similarly, emphasized that IT infrastructure has a significant relationship between KM, knowledge management, and operational efficiency. As far as knowledge structure is concerned, there is statistically significant positive correlation was found in knowledge structure and KM implementation in the present study. The existing knowledge says that this aligns with Seki model, which was given initially by Nonaka and then by C.C. Kumara and Chong in 2018, which stresses the importance of structured knowledge processes. Regarding the training and education, it was found in the present study that there is no statistically significant correlation between training and education and KM implementation. This contrasts with the existing study, who emphasized that training programs are essential for systematic KM success. In the performance measurement, no significant correlation was found between performance measurement and KM implementation. This diverges from the existing knowledge that highlights performance metrics as crucial for reinforcing KM efforts in the organization. So what are the implications of this study? As far as theoretical knowledge is concerned, the theoretical implication is for researchers, which says that KM implementation improves problem solving, efficiency in the organization, and growth performance reinforcing its role in construction and beyond. IT infrastructure and knowledge structure emerge as critical drivers of game successes. There is a weak correlation with management support and culture, and that question established theories. So further studies can be done in these areas, which will be relevant for the future scope of work. Small samples and aggregated data highlight the need for larger and respondent level studies. This can be done. This is the implication for researchers. This divergence invite cross-regional and cross-industry studies on game effectiveness, because the study has been done particularly in the construction industry. This can be done cross-industry also. Even if it is being done for, say, construction industry, there are many industries which are associated with the construction industry, say manufacturing industries. So the game effectiveness can be studied in these areas, and findings extend frameworks like SEKI by integrating technological and cultural dimensions. For the construction organizations, game implementation helps organizations address project challenges more effectively, reducing delays and giving them good project outcomes, growth performance, operational efficiency, etc. By adopting these practices, game practices, organizations can streamline processes, reduce their timelines, increase their productivity, they can reduce their redundancies, etc. This contributes to overall organizational growth, competitiveness, and sustainability in the construction sector. And since IT infrastructure shows a strong positive correlation with knowledge management, organizations should prioritize digital tools, platforms, and systems to support knowledge sharing. Like I said earlier, there are semantic web available now. There are BIM models available now, which AI is available now, which can be utilized for making this IT, this knowledge management structure within the organization. A clear knowledge structure ensures that information is captured, organized, and reused effectively. So this construction organization can use this study to make their knowledge processes structured within the organization. And the soft factors, like the critical success factors which we talked about, can be reconsidered as far as the game implementation and organization culture, top management support, training, and performance improvement is concerned. The implication for the employees within the organization, employees definitely can benefit from the game systems. Their performance can improve within the organization. They can have a good career growth. Game fosters better communication and collaboration across teams. The knowledge management gives you a platform where you can actually discuss, and you can come out of those silos, these silos culture, and interact with each other to have a better understanding between the, from one system to another system interaction can be there. Also, exposure to knowledge processes in IT-enabled game systems enhances employees' professional competences and adaptabilities. Effective game reduces duplication of effort and minimizes time spent searching for information, leading to more efficient task completion. Because now this game implementation is being done with in a IT infrastructure form. So whatever knowledge is being acquired and stored by the organization can be reused and searched more often, very easily, and it is the ease of business with the IT. Since training and education did not show significant correlation with game, employees may need more targeted and systematic training programs to fully leverage game practices. And with performance measurement, because not strongly linked to game as far as the present study is concerned, employees may lack clear feedback loops. So organizations should consider integrating game outcomes into performance appraisal systems. This particular performance, what we are talking about as a critical success factor, is the performance of individual employees, not of the organizations. So these are the limitations of the study. There is a geographical limitation. Obviously, I've made my study from the construction organizations in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. So this cannot be generalized nationally. The further studies have to be done for generalizing it. The sector limitation is also there. This study has been done only for private construction firms, for the construction industry, and also public sector practices have been excluded, where I found that no knowledge management structure is there. Industry limitation is there, is only finding supply only to construction industry, not transferable to other sectors. Survey responses may carry biases in KM practices and outcomes. This is one of the limitation of the study. There are unmeasured variables also, like the size of the project or the complexity of the project or the turnover, which are not captured in the present study. So these are the limitations of the study. And weak link between training programs and KM goals highlights definitely there is a gap in the study. So there is a scope for future research. Most of them comes from the limitation. There is a broader scope in India. There is a sectoral comparison which can be done for both public and private sector construction organization. The training and education and other factors can be studied, and it can be examined why current training programs fail to align with the KM practices. The emerging technologies and culture can be explored, the role of AI, machine learning, blockchain, BIM model, semantic web in KM, and also the leadership. This can be assessed that how leadership style and top management support and the organization culture can influence KM processes, KM success in the organization. The robust model can be created to measure KM effectiveness to ensure continuous improvement, which have a stronger link to operational efficiency, growth performance, and problem solving within the organization. And geographical expansion can be done for the study. I mean, the other states construction organization can also be studied for cross-sector or cross-industry comparison. These are the publications and presentation by me. In 2018, in Ghana Institute of Management, I presented a paper on knowledge management implementation in construction companies from Andhra Pradesh, India. This was done when my co-supervisor was Srinivas Rao sir. Also, I published a paper in Q3 journal, this Scopus Index journal, impact on knowledge management on operational efficiency of construction companies in India. This was published in 2024, International Journal of Communication Networks and Information Security. Also, I published a paper in ICFA University, Jharkhand, in the international seminar which happened, which held on 25th and 26th September 2025. The topic was impact of knowledge management implementation on the growth of construction companies in India. And also, there's one Q3 journal again, is Scopus Index journal, factors limiting the implementation of knowledge management in construction companies in India is the title. And it was published in the Journal of Advanced Engineering Sciences in May 2026. So for all the after I submitted my thesis, the observations or the comments which I received from externals, I have completed all the observations. I have complied with all the observations. However, particularly the title, because this title, first thing is it is registered, and the based on the literature survey it was made, so this title chosen is relevant. So that is why I have not gone for re-registration. I'm sorry. It is relevant, and I have not gone for re-registration of the title. Apart from that, I have complied with all the comments and the observations by the external experts. In fact, I have revised the complete introduction chapter as well as chapter 4 and 5 completely. I've done analysis also again and put in the revised thesis. All the minor corrections have also been done. Triangulation analysis findings have been elaborated and have been put in the thesis. The presentation thesis have been the research gap, problem statement and the objectives and the research questions have been aligned now. This is the overall comments was the theoretical framework hypothesis development section to be included, clearly stating the arguments for each hypothesis, which was done for each hypothesis. Research methodology chapter should clearly specify qualitative, quantitative approaches adopted in proper sequence. So it has been done. In fact, the complete the chapter has been revised for it. And also there were a few very general topics earlier which was covered, because when I'm not from academic sector, academic background. So what happened was, when I was doing literature survey, so wherever I found construction, the knowledge management in construction field, I got excited and I started putting everything into thesis. So it becomes very bulky then. So with the comments, with the observation, I have cut out all the frills from these chapters. The result chapter should present only the results for the proposed hypothesis in concise and appropriate format. So this has been done. Now the outcome data, which earlier I had copied and pasted from the software directly in the thesis, that I have not done. Only the relevant data has been put along with the graphics in the analysis and conclusion chapter. And discussion chapter is it has the discussion, contribution, and implication need to be improved as suggested above. This same has been rewritten. So this was my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prakash. So over to you now.
Yeah, thank you. I think you can take your seat.
Thank you so much, sir. Actually, I have a health condition also. I was about to request. Just for 5 minutes, I will sit.
Sure, no problem. Whatever makes you comfortable, and good presentation. And from my side, it's nice to see that you have done the triangulation analysis. However, what I just want to know is, first of all, when you have selected the construction firms, you have segregated them as small firms, medium firms, and large firms. So on what basis did you segregate them?
Sir, there are two bases for defining sector in our construction sector in small, medium, and large. One is the definition which is given by MSME. There is MSMED Act there, which defines that when I was doing a study, that defined that the small firms are which are having annual turnover less than 50 crore. The medium sector, which is between 50 and 250 crore, and large sector, which are more than 250 crore, which has again been revised in 2026. Now it has become 100, 500, and 500 and above. So during my study, it was 50 to 50 and above. So accordingly, I had taken. Apart from that, there is an industry norm also, sir. Like the small firms are having between 10 to 50 employees. The medium firms are having, we are talking about permanent employees, sir, are having between 50 to 400 employees. And the large construction companies are having more than 400 employees. This is the industry norms. So this is how these are defined.
Okay, because there in your presentation, there were some findings about the how the size or the number of employees or the turnover did not capture any effect.
Yes, sir.
So that is the reason why I asked this question.
Sir.
Another curiosity that I have is, where you did not find the significance of the top management support and culture.
Sir.
What is your finding what is your um, thought on that this significance was not found? Why is it so? Because knowledge management is something which is largely dependent on top management support as well as culture. Whereas your research with your data, you did not find that significant. So, what do you think? Because it is based on firms from Andhra and Telangana.
Yes.
So, is there anything which you would attribute to the state factor or the uh, variables that you may not have looked into? So, basically, what I want to understand is what has created that insignificance?
Sir.
Yeah, could I make my question?
Yes,
clear?
yes, sir. It is clear to me. Sir, regarding the leadership role and top management support, as I found in my qualitative study also, when I was conducting focus group discussions from 5 construction organizations, I had done this study. So I found that they all agree and give positive feedback regarding the correlation between top management support and the knowledge management implementation. However, when I distributed questionnaire, uh, there may be, because of the I can call it bias, because I'll tell you what, when I was interacting with the construction industry, I was only interacting with the top management. So maybe because of that, in the qualitative study, I found that the top management support, they said affirmly that yes, there is a link. But when I was conducting the survey, it was from the employees that I distributed questionnaire, and I found, and then I got the results. So I think because of this, the responses from the two different individuals from the same organization, because they are at their level, so there may be opinion biases. Because of that, I think there is.
So a little bit related with this question is that when you say the firms belong to construction industry,
Sure.
how have you gone about identifying the firms that fit into your research question, in the sense that these firms whom you are taking together as construction industry, you're saying they are part of the construction industry, there are different subsectors in the industry.
Yes, sir.
For example, we look at the domestic real estate, we look at the civil constructions for the government. So, in what way have you looked at, or what has been your approach to selecting these companies? That is, you have approached them as one single basket of companies who are into any kind of construction, or did you segregate it as a basket of companies which are into government civil projects, or they are into domestic real estate? So, what was your approach of finding these companies?
Sir, when I was, I already explained that when when I started my study, I had to do preliminary study to actually find out that which all firms out of, because there are many construction companies which are based at Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. Also, there are few firms, few government construction agencies are also present there. But first, if I wanted to establish any relationship between the knowledge management implementation and any of the factors or the variables, first I had to establish whether there is any knowledge management structure in any form is available within the organization or not. So I had a very limited choice after I found that particularly the government sector, they are not having any knowledge management structure, nor they have any inclination of implementing it. Because I mean, when I discussed from within my organization, I was told that government organization work with the government mandates. So unless there is a mandate, nobody is going to make in its own that there should be a knowledge management structure in the organization, because this will require some budget to be pumped into the structure and all. Also, the small scale industries, they were not having any knowledge management structure in the organization. Obviously, again, because of their budget constraints and because this small scale industry, which you very rightly said, sir, the subgroup which is like say the civil housing construction that they are doing, maybe they may have the turnover in crores of rupees, but they are so unstructured in a manner that once the project is being once the project is completed at a particular place, the housing society has been made and it has been handed over according to norms and all. After that, they dismantle everything, they go out of the site, and these all employees that they employ for that particular project are also they try to hire it from the local for the project specific purpose on contract hiring basis. There are very few of them which are permanent employees of these organizations. So small scale industries also, I was not able to find any game implementation. So I was left with no choice other than the medium scale and medium scale industry and high scale industry. So these two industries only, I found that there are knowledge management implementation there in these construction companies. And so further, I did not make any bifurcation, sir. Which all construction firms are having knowledge management implementation, whether they are into the real estate business or are working with government organization or are particularly in defense and not in other the government sector also working. So I have not made any further bifurcation. I have taken whatever I could gather the information from, sir, with the basis of sampling, sir.
Fine. So another question that I have, and kind of this is my last question, and I was curious when I was going through your thesis, I was also curious to know that, but I found that that was not part of your scope of work, so I did not comment on that.
Sir.
But what I want to know is, construction industry in India has a very good deal of regulatory norms and regulatory requirements to fulfill. Just for example, in the domestic real estate construction sector, subsector rather, there is the requirement of the Real Estate Regulation Act to be fulfilled, the RERA Act.
Yes, sir.
So just to give one example, because every state specific, there are different acts which are very state specific. So, and there are people in the projects who have very deep knowledge of these regulatory norms.
Sure.
So going forward with your research, how do you think you can bring in the knowledge management that is required for fulfilling regulatory norms? How can that become a part of your research going forward? Because you will probably continue with this research and you will become an expert in this field. So how do you think that you could have captured in your thesis?
In fact, I would appreciate this question, sir, because what happened is during the course of my this study, this is the second time an expert has asked this question, sir. Sir, regulatory framework are actually the norms which are required to be fulfilled by any of the construction firms who are into that real estate business or doing construction in that particular area. Say if there is an urban area, urban housing project, so that has to be fulfilled. So for the regulatory part, if it has to be framed in the knowledge management implementation of it, I think it can be made a part, but with a caution again, sir, because these all RERA norms are very rigid norms. There are, I mean, the variables, if we try to find from within these norms, are fixed norms. So we have to be very cautious in deriving the variables out of the RERA norm. And then from the construction organizations, if we see what I can foresee at this point of time, I have not studied it. I can foresee from this point of time that also there will be, even if it is done across the states, the result would be more or less same for almost all the states.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Basically, I was trying to know, like, if, let's say, if this was captured as one more hypothesis, to what extent the knowledge management related with the regulatory norms is influenced, or as you have made it, you have related with the knowledge management part, how these regulatory norms, so how would you capture that? But what you said, I could get that point. Yeah, because regulatory norms is going to become very stringent, and
yes,
the construction sector is reeling with a lot of litigation because of the, just for example, the coming of the RERA Act in some of the states, the state from where I am coming came in 2017. And so pre 2017 construction are in deep difficulty because they are not RERA registered. Whereas when they have given the completion certificate and the occupancy certificate, that was post RERA.
so same thing is happening in UP, same thing is happening in Haryana, everywhere this is that. Yes,
So
sir.
there are very few people who have that expert knowledge
Yes,
how to, and that is what now construction companies are trying to make use of that knowledge, because otherwise it's creating a kind of deadlock situation for the companies and the consumers. So that is something very interesting which can come into
it is, yes, sir.
your
It
work.
can be done. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I would definitely, I'm going to note this.
The future
Sir,
work
and
can-
yes, sir. Future work can be done in this, and it is very wonderful part, sir. I'll note it.
Certainly.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good. I'm very happy with your thesis work, because the kind of work you had to do, and because doing a PhD thesis is training in research. So everything would not be perfect, but we need to see whether you have been able to understand the research processes, the methods, how you have done so. From that way, I am I'm quite satisfied with your work. And always there is, entire academic career will be there for you to do research. So from my side, I am very satisfied with your work. So nothing more from my side.
Richa ma'am, ma'am, over to you now. You can ask your questions, ma'am. Richa ma'am, are you audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Prakash, for your presentation. I had already given a very long list of comments. You and what your supervisor must be cursing me.
Ma'am, for those comments, I'm very much thankful, ma'am. And in fact, before the presentation, I was talking to sir, and I mentioned that these all reviews are very much required, because yes, I realized that after even after doing all these studies, I was not able to compile everything properly into my thesis form, which is very much required to organize. Because see, I'm doing a research in knowledge management, and I'm not able to manage my own knowledge, so it is not correct. So thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah. So apart from my comments on your thesis, I'll ask just a few questions. if I ask you to summarize your thesis in 2 minutes,
Ma'am,
how would you do that?
ma'am, first and foremost is I would start with my survey. The construction organizations, particularly in India, are not having game implementation, particularly in government sector and small scale industries, is my first point. Second point is, ma'am, as far as the medium and large scale sector is concerned, the knowledge management, the impact of knowledge management on the growth performance, the growth of the companies, the performance of the efficiency of the companies, and the problem solving is very significant, is there. However, as far as the critical success factor, which I actually studied, which I included in my study, to make understand the construction company, because it will become relevant for any construction company if they refer to my thesis, that how would they be able to model a knowledge management structure within their organization. So I studied the critical success factors also. How are they correlated with the game implementation? And from there, I found that the IT structure and the knowledge structure within the construction organization has a significant correlation.
Okay, okay. So what do you think is the single most important contribution of your work?
Ma'am, the most important contribution of my work is that because there has not been even a single study of knowledge management, the impact of knowledge management of construction industry in India as far as their performance is concerned. So it is going to give all the construction organizations way ahead to implement the knowledge management structure in their organization is one. Second thing, they will also have a guideline what all critical success factors they can model into their organization and what precautions they can make to make this knowledge management model in their organization to make the knowledge management structure.
Yeah, but based on your quantitative findings, I was really surprised, as sir also asked, that most of your results were insignificant, particularly with regard to the relation between top management support, organizational culture,
Yes,
knowledge
yes,
implementation. So, how do you explain these results?
Ma'am, the quantitative findings definitely show there is either negative correlationship or the correlationship is not significant. However, the qualitative findings, if you go through, they show a correlationship between these two. Also, the theoretical studies, theoretical framework the theoretical studies that I did also show significant correlationship between these two. So there is a future scope of study on these particular critical success factors, and then based on those studies, these also can be made part of this knowledge management structure.
So, what do you think would be the factors that led to these insignificant findings? So maybe is it the sample size? How do you justify the adequacy of your sample size for conducting the quantitative one?
Ma'am, actually, because the construction industries which I had chosen for population was from within the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state. And then too, when I did my preliminary study, I found that only medium and large construction sectors only are having knowledge management structure in some or other form, which are actually implementing it and using it. So there was not much of a choice for me. I had a rather very large sample. If you see the population that remains where the KM implementation is there, out of 77 construction organization which remained with me, for the complete, the knowledge management structure in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana state, I have chosen 38 construction firms for doing my study.
So you are saying your qualitative results support these correlations, but how do qualitative results, how can you infer correlation or strong relationship between variables using qualitative findings? How do you, separate researcher bias from your interpretation of these interviews?
Ma'am, because of the, uh, qualitative findings were done with the basically from the top management, which we generally talk from within the organization, which we interact with. So maybe there are personal biases because of which there was some relationship which was established there for in the qualitative findings, but the quantitative results, the quantitative study was done from within the employees present in the organization, whether they were posted at the project site or at the office. So I think there are personal biases which are related to this
Yeah, so
insignificant.
how did you analyze these interviews? Did you use any software, or how did you interpret those responses? To prove your objectivity in the process.
Sorry, ma'am, I couldn't get your question.
How did you analyze these qualitative responses? Was this just a subjective interpretation of the texts, or did you use any software to introduce objectivity into the process?
Ma'am, this was the qualitative findings was done with thematic analysis. So the themes, the different themes were prepared, and from the from among the expert panels, this was summarized, and then it was the conclusion was given.
Okay. So you said IT infrastructure had some impact on KM implementation, right? So what do you think? How AI and digital technologies can affect KM implementation in these organizations?
Ma'am, further I started studying about the, after even 2023, I kept studying various literatures. I found that in the global scenario, the IT, particularly the IT models, the earlier studies, if you see, even where I have summarized, the earlier studies are all theoretical models, mainly theoretical models. But later on, the IT models have also been proposed, which are either AI based or semantic web based, which is actually the enhanced version of World Wide Web. So these all are being implemented. In fact, in the construction organization, the very significant model which is now being used is BIM, this building information modeling, which is being used. So these are all very relevant. This is a very good question, ma'am. These are all very relevant. But as far as the Indian scenario is concerned, we have miles to go, ma'am. We have first to make ourselves understand that yes, knowledge management structure is important in our organization. Then we have to make these models, and then we have to go upgrade ourselves to this AI modeling and all. Government is also taking initiative. I cite example of my own organization, ma'am. In DRDO, the new ERP is being formed, where knowledge management has become part of this knowledge management structure has become part of, as a module, it has been included. Also, ma'am, when I was researching, I found in new education policy, one of the papers has been given to MCOM. I think it is in semester 2. This knowledge management subject has been given in MCOM. So yes, ma'am, it is relevant, very much relevant.
Yes, knowledge management subject is part of MBA curriculum as well. When I was in IIT Roorkee, so it used to be one of the electives in the second year of MBA programs there.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
last question. Yeah. So, what was the most difficult part of your PhD journey? And I gave this question in my evaluation also. If you were if you were given a second chance to do your PhD, what would you do differently this time?
Ma'am, if I'm given second chance to do PhD, definitely I've learned a lot during this journey. So I'm not going to repeat any mistakes that I have done previously. That is one. Second thing, ma'am, because this has been a very long journey, and there were gaps during my studies. The difficult phase was due to certain health reasons. I could not continue my studies for almost 3 years. So now I'm fine. I resumed my studies in 2023, and I completed my study.
So, how is this research going to help your professional career?
Ma'am, as I told you, this DRDO is which I not mentioned is in the building of ERP for complete DRDO. I am one of the members in the committee. Ma'am, so knowledge management, and with my initiative only, this knowledge management has been made part of this complete DRDO ERP, ma'am. So this is going to help the DRDO and complete whole nation by these studies. I'm going to give them all the inputs that I have learned through my study, and will help them build a good knowledge management structure within the organization. Also, the construction organization which I have referred in my studies, I'm going to have an interaction with them. We have we also have a system of key performance indicators within DRDO now, which government has made mandatory for each of the organization. So in that key performance indicator evaluation, what we are doing is, for all the organization which are associated with us, say we are the directorate and there are various chief engineers offices there. So we are going to give each of them tasks to make their own knowledge repository, and then convert it into knowledge management structure. Also, to the construction organizations which are in our touch or which are having business with us, I'm going to we are organizing industry interaction. Last industry interaction we had in the year 2025 August in Visakhapatnam itself. So I mean, a good part of that was that my book that I mentioned, I'm a published author, so that was also released by Secretary DDR&D and Chairman DRDO in that industry interaction. So that industry interaction, we are giving them inputs from our organization perspective, that what should be the approaches of those construction organizations so that they can improve, and in turn the whole this DRDO projects can improve in totality. So this is going to be my knowledge sharing with them.
To what extent do you think your findings from construction industry can be are replicable? I mean, can be applied in your organization?
Ma'am, wherever there is a dichotomy between my studies and theoretical framework, those parts need to be further studied. But apart from that, the whole study is very relevant for the construction organizations. If they can frame a model of knowledge
For
management
DRDO, I'm saying. For DRDO. How your findings from construction industry be applied in your organ? You are working in DRDO, right?
I'm working in DRDO, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So that's what I'm asking. How your findings will help you to strengthen knowledge management infrastructure in your organization?
Ma'am, the DRDO as a whole has a directorate where I'm working. It is Directorate of Civil Works and Estates. So it is this Civil Works and Estates is actually involved in planning, designing, creation and maintenance of DRDO strategic time-bound civil infrastructure projects. which are of national importance, which ranges from a number of things. In fact, first of my posting was there in Balasur, where I was in charge of this launch complex 4, which is now known as Abdul Kalam Island, from where all the launches are done. And in the newspapers also, you can find out whenever there are launches. So I witnessed various Prithvi firing, Agni 3, Agni 4 firing. This all I witnessed, and also I was part of this complete mission. So this the construction organization, this department, I am going to implement, because this complete ERP module also has this knowledge management structure, and within the Directorate of Civil Works and Estates also there'll be a separate module for our own knowledge repository. So this will help in our own department also to make the knowledge management structure very much relevant and useful for the complete DRDO.
Thank you. That's all from me.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I would request the faculty members to have any questions.
No concerns, please.
So,
Just register the things joining.
Sir, the evaluations are over as per our regular format, sir. If you are convinced, both the external evaluators can give a permission to grant them.
Oh, yes, definitely. From my side,
Final word from both of the external.
yeah, from my side, there is absolute clearance to grant you the Doctor of Philosophy degree. From my side, there is successful completion of your thesis, and the questions that were asked by Dr. Chaudhary, myself, I feel very satisfied with the responses you gave. So from my side, there is absolutely no objection to grant you the degree.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir.
so on the behalf of.
Yes, madam. Madam, from your end, ma'am, can we declare the scholar as awarded with the doctorate degree provisionally?
Of course, I'm very happy with the revised thesis and Jay Prakash's responses to all the Viva Voce questions. So many congratulations for all your hard work.
Ma'am, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So on the behalf of ICFA University Jharkhand, I would.
Thank you, ma'am. All your question was so relevant. I also got many inputs in that. Thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you.
So on the behalf of ICFA University Jharkhand, I would like to extend our heartiest gratitude to all the external examiners. Thank you, sir, for coming all the way from Bhubaneswar to Ranchi. Thank you, Richa ma'am, for all your wonderful inputs and throwing the lights. I would like to congratulate the guide, Dr. Rumna, for this, and heartiest congratulations to the scholar,
Thank
Dr.
you so much.
Jay Prakash.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations to both of you, in fact.
Thank all the faculty members for your.
Yeah, thank you for giving me an opportunity to be part of this evaluation, because evaluating every thesis is also a great knowledge accumulation that comes. to know a different industry, to know different methods, and then it's an enlightenment by itself. So thanks to Professor Bhattacharya and to Professor Chauhan and the entire ICFA University Jharkhand fraternity for giving me this beautiful chance to be here and also to review this thesis. Thank you from my side.
Thank you, ma'am. We are closing the Zoom meet now and we'll be proceeding further. Right. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Congratulations, Dr. Prakash. Congratulations, Professor Ramna. And sorry for the delay from my end. I could not come earlier because of some personal reasons.
And congratulations to you for your baby.
Thank you.
Congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. For that reason only I could not come. Otherwise, we would have completed that in March. Yeah. Okay. Thank you all.
Right.